So hey there, it's Penguin Gamer and welcome to my new series of Grid Autosport. You join me in my qualifying session. This first lap of the session was my best of the 3 laps that you get allocated for qualifying. Maybe sliding around a bit through the faster sections of the track, maybe costing me a little bit of speed. But yeah, I got stability control turned off, so what do you really expect? So moving here, trying to hit the apexes through the entirety of the lap. I'm braking as late as possible into this corner, although I get almost exclusively understeer just in that corner, which is a bit annoying, and maybe mess up my chances of getting a really good exit out this corner. But yeah, still up through 5th and 6th, and then hitting your braking point, trying to hit the apex in this corner in order to not run wide, and then progressively on the throttle to get basically no wheel spin, which I was very happy with. Now braking up to the past the 50-meter board, basically hitting the apex and accelerating with the slightest of steering corrections, and then coming around the line to take 11th, which, considering the computer players were set to hard, I think I did quite well there. So now moving on to the race, the first of 2 races here, in which I will be starting 11th. And I'm hoping to get a good start, because starts really aren't my strong point in this series really, and just generally in racing. So hopefully I won't lose too many positions. Kind of hoping for some carnage on the first lap, so I can maybe profit from it in some way at this point. So coming down, braking a little bit early for the first corner in expectation of some crashes, and yeah, some cars don't exactly crash, but they hold each other up, so I'm able to overtake, and then I'm able to take another car here. I think it might be my teammate here, as we were concertinaing together like that. Yeah, no, that wasn't my teammate actually. So coming around here, sliding a lot compared to the AI. It's kind of, that car's opened up about 3 car lengths ahead of me by now, and then braking much later than the computer controlled players, and then gaining a bit through the exit. I think the braking is probably the main bit where I gain on them, to be honest. I think even though it's hard AI, they brake a bit early, although they do gain an awful lot through the exit, you know, when I'm sliding around and struggling for traction. So now at this point I'm quite confident in my pace that I can keep up with the AI to a reasonable degree, especially if they're sort of braking early like that and sort of holding each other up. At this point I'm hoping to maybe be able to overtake some of those cars. And yeah, so lining this guy up on the slipstream, he goes defensive off the racing line. But yeah, I slipped up the inside a bit too early for him and managed to make the move stick, which I'm very happy about there. So then yeah, I slide a bit, go back across the track to defend, and then yeah, that's totally my fault. Should have sort of seen him there, noticed him there. But yeah, I get steering damage. Steering damage in this game makes quite a lot of effect, because it makes your steering toe out in all sorts of different directions, so you kind of got to control it. It affects some cars worse than others. It doesn't affect this car too badly, but I know in other cars I've driven it's affected the car really badly, so that's definitely an issue to watch out for. So now coming down, yeah, hitting the apex a bit better, getting my apexes better all the time, but unfortunately get a penalty for going over the white lines, which cost me about a second there. And then until that point I was kind of in contention with the car in front, but that's kind of diminished, I'd say, due to that incident. But I'm still quite happy with my pace. I'm probably by the end of the race would have set a lap that's faster than my qualifying lap, because I have to say my qualifying lap wasn't amazing. It was only enough for 11th place. But then again, we are in a team with no setup capabilities, who is probably the worst team on the grid. So it's not too bad, I suppose. And now, yeah, I'm kind of in that weird position where there's an equal gap to the car in front and the car behind. So there's not really much I can do for that race, as I completely obliterate the 150-meter board. Again, running wide. At this point, I'm just trying to make sure I don't make any sort of silly mistakes that's going to cost me positions. And yeah, hitting my braking points well as always, Now, very much, yeah, trying to steer clear of that corner, as I got a corner cut warning there last time, which was a bit of an issue for me as it made me lose a bit of contact with the car behind. But after this race result, I hope to build on it and maybe do better in the next race event, which I'm pretty sure I do. I can't quite remember off the top of my head. It was a couple of days ago I recorded this. And yeah, so at this point it's going to be me mainly defending from the car behind instead of attacking the car front. You saw it there, I forgot to mention it. One of the Kicker Motorsport cars spun out in the last corner, which happens on quite a regular basis on this game, especially at the first corner, although not there though. So I was able to gain a place and move up to 7th. So 11th to 7th isn't bad at all, especially on my first official race outing. Of course, I've done a few custom races with touring cars, and then a couple with this Formula 3 car. So yeah, in the game they call this Formula C, although its real life equivalent would be Formula 3, so I'm going to call it Formula 3. And this is more likely to be European Formula 3 after the basically the failing of British Formula 3, which is a very sad event. But yeah, so coming up to the end of the race, quite happy with that, hitting the apex, keeping my concentration until the end. But yeah, thank you very much for watching this, and I will see you next time with the next instalment of my Grid Autosport career. Thank you and goodbye.